animal, leave him in good hands at a shelter. The Komodo dragon can grow up to 7 feet. And they have powerful bites, forceful tails, and they can cause a whole lot of injury.
Yikes. Okay. Well, it might be 2026, but the mullet is still here. The annual mullet contest in Pennsylvania, yeah, it drew a big crowd this week. Contestants of all ages, look at those guys partying back. They were judged on their style, their presentation, and their commitment to the mullet and mullet culture. That's the thing. People say the event is the best way to show off the power of the mullet.
Good Day Chicago at 8 starts now.
And right now on Good Day Chicago here at 8 o'clock, a group says it is past time for something to be done about the violence unfolding on the CTA, what they are now doing.
2 things you want this weekend: a Bears victory and not to get scammed. What the Better Business Bureau says to look out for when buying Bears tickets.
Also, a new Barbie is having a big effect. How a Barbie with autism will make more kids feel included.
We're looking at a fantastic forecast for you on this Tuesday morning. Caitlin Cody is here, and she's going to fill us in on the good news. Hey, Caitlin.
Mild temperatures, some sunshine, dry conditions for now. So let's get into our Tuesday forecast. Good morning, you two. Temperatures outside right now are in the 30s and 40s. We're sitting at 40 degrees on the dot at O'Hare, 37 at the lakefront, and 38 at Midway, 39 from Gary to Joliet, 34 in DeKalb. So we feel pretty good this morning. We look good too. We're calling it partly sunny today. So quiet conditions expected for your Tuesday. Here's your next 12 hours. Temperatures are going to be climbing to about 50 this afternoon. So we're feeling good along with that sunshine. As we head on into this evening, temperatures slowly dropping back down into the 40s. We have the chance for a touch of snow though moving in. In our 3-day forecast, you can see the temperatures are dropping as well. Tomorrow in the afternoon, the 20s, 25 expected Thursday. We'll take a look at your full forecast, including the timing of this snowfall ahead.
Okay, we'll check back in. Caitlin, thank you so much. Well, a group who is calling itself Violence Interrupters say they are keeping the CTA safe on their own terms.
Roseanne is live with more on their efforts. It started overnight. Roseanne?
Right. These members of this group have special violence prevention training, and they're hoping that they can provide some extra protection for riders who are a little nervous about so many recent violent incidents. The group gathered at State and Lake about 9 o'clock last night. They boarded the Blue Line, and they headed out to the Austin neighborhood. That's the last stop on that line. But this comes after the most recent violent incident on the Blue Line. It was a stabbing at Clark and Lake early Saturday that killed a 37-year-old man. And then, of course, in October, a woman was badly burned when she was set on fire on the Blue Line. Early Sunday on the Red Line, another man was stabbed. That happened after an argument on a train near the 69th Street stop. The violence interrupters say they're specially trained to de-escalate these situations. And some riders tell us they have noticed others stepped up security on trains.
Not getting any better with the whole security thing. There's a lot of homeless there. I mean, you know what? Actually, no, it's actually gotten a little better now that because I ride it every day. It's my commute, you know, it's how I get to work. I see a lot of security there, and they're definitely taking it a lot more serious. So, you know, I'd say I'm pretty happy.
He said he's pretty happy where it's headed. Other people have told us that as well, that they've noticed more presence of dogs and whatnot. But these violence interrupters plan to ride the trains in those wee hours when a lot of these violent incidents have happened, starting at like 2 a.m. in the coming weeks. We should also point out that the CTA is under scrutiny right now. The federal government threatening to yank federal funds if they don't do more to step up security. In the Loop, Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Yeah, stakes are high for the CTA. Roseanne, thank you so much. Other news, the family of a missing teacher does not get the news that they wanted.
Brian is here now with more. Brian?
Well, today there will be an autopsy done for Linda Brown. She disappeared over a week ago. Her husband says that she was supposed to head to an acupuncture appointment, but never showed up. She was last seen on surveillance video walking on a pedestrian bridge along the lakefront. She was a teacher with CPS, and the district will be making counselors available. Her family says that she had been dealing with some mental health issues recently. Well, Illinois has filed a suit against the Department of Homeland Security over how ICE operated during Operation Midway Blitz. The state says federal agents used dangerous and illegal tactics that would include using tear gas. The suit wants a federal court to stop agents from using tear gas and to change their tactics. It says the feds are violating the 10th Amendment, which lays out what states and the federal government can do. The Department of Homeland Security says that the lawsuit is baseless. Well, it's going to cost you a little bit more to go to a concert at the Allstate Arena. Daily Herald says that the Rosemont Village Board raised the fees added to tickets at the Allstate Arena and the Rosemont Theater. The extra dollar charge will take effect next month. There's also plans to raise the facility service fee in the future as well. That is expected to go up to $4, but so far there's no start date for that just yet. Natalie?
Thank you, Brian. Tensions have flared overnight in Minnesota as protesters and law enforcement clashed outside the ICE regional headquarters in Minneapolis.
Caroline Elliott is in Minneapolis, joins us live at the very latest. Caroline?
Yeah, Natalie, Anthony, overnight we saw more protests in Minneapolis that at times really got a little out of control. We saw some of those videos online this morning that appeared to show protesters throwing fireworks at federal agents that were standing in front of that building behind us. And you can see they're already again out here this morning at 8 a.m. local time. Meantime, ICE says that they're not getting out of the city at all, though, and they're not going to stop until the job is done.
We fighting for Renee. You know, we will be outside until ICE gets out our city.
Protests are not slowing down. And tensions keep rising after last week's shooting death of 37-year-old Renee Good at the hands of an ICE agent. DHS says the officer acted in self-defense, accusing Good of trying to hit him with her car. But many local leaders disagree, saying ICE is scaring residents here.
While we know we can't control federal agents, we will pull every lever we have to fight back.
The state of Minnesota and the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul are now suing the Trump administration to try and end its immigration crackdown.
We asked the courts to end the DHS unlawful behavior in our state. The intimidation, the threats, the violence.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says the surge in ICE agents is purely political.
You've got a Democratic governor, a Democratic attorney general, and you got Democratic mayors.
But DHS says hundreds of extra agents will be on their way. This as the White House is calling out anti-ICE protesters, saying their rhetoric is fueling violence.
Apparently, they are protesting the removal of heinous murderers and rapists and criminals from a city.
And DHS is now responding to that lawsuit, saying this isn't about politics at all. This is about safety. Natalie, Anthony.
Caroline Elliott, live in Minneapolis. Thank you, Caroline. Back here at home, police are investigating after a woman was shot right outside Rush University Medical Center where she works. She was shot early yesterday morning in a drive-by shooting while parked near the hospital. Police have not said if this was targeted. No one has been arrested. Police are looking for a dark-colored sedan.
The man accused of killing an Ohio dentist and his wife is waiving extradition after he was arrested here in Illinois. Michael David McKee was in a Winnebago County courtroom yesterday. He is accused of killing his ex-wife, Monique Tepe, and her husband, Spencer, in their home in Columbus, Ohio, back on December 30th. He was arrested in Rockford, where he works as a surgeon.
The president says he's imposing a 25% tariff on any country that trades with Iran. Some of those countries would include China, Russia, India, and Turkey. However, the president did not give details on how the tariff would be calculated. For example, would it be added to import taxes already in place? Now, the president has threatened to use military force on Iran for killing protesters there. So far, 646 protesters have been killed. Iran's crumbling economy triggered them last week.
Both the Washington Post and the New York Times are reporting today that the Pentagon used a plane disguised as a civilian aircraft in the first attack on a boat in September. Legal experts say if that is true, that would reach the level of a war crime. Countries are not allowed under international law to disguise troops as civilians. And the Pentagon has not responded, but it has claimed its strikes on suspected drug boats are legal.
The judge overseeing Luigi Mangioni's federal trial has ordered a new hearing today. It's going to focus on whether the 27-year-old's backpack was lawfully searched during his arrest. Just one witness will take the stand, an officer from the police department in Pennsylvania where Mangioni was arrested. Now, at some point, the judge is also expected to rule whether Mangioni could face the death penalty if he's convicted.
All right, there's only one thing you need to know. Bears will play Sunday evening at 5:30. Yeah, that's if you have to take away one headline from this show, maybe that's it. The NFL set the time last night after the Texans knocked out the Steelers. So clear your calendars for Sunday night, everybody. Rams are coming to town, so we'll see how the LA guys handle perhaps the snow, the cold. They have not played. These two teams haven't played in the playoffs since 1986. That was when the Bears were en route to dominating Super Bowl 20. And yeah, so we're overdue for a matchup, Caitlin, between these two teams. And it is going to be cold at Soldier Field on Sunday, correct?
Which actually could play in our favor.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. Highs in the teens. Unfortunate for those of us who are going to be out there watching the game, but we'll be so excited. It'll be fine. Temperatures today, though, not going to be cold. In fact, we are 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday at this time at the lakefront. 11-degree jump at O'Hare and Waukegan. Temperatures are expected to reach about 50 today, also with sunshine and dry skies. Right now, you're walking out the door to 38 degrees at the lakefront, 39 in Gary, 40 at O'Hare, and 37 in Aurora, 38 in Morris, 41 at LaSalle. Here's your futurecast. Let's take you through your day. By lunchtime, 12 o'clock, temperatures are in the upper 40s. Again, we're flirting with 50, if not hitting 50 degrees today. Some of us in the low 50s. 3:45, still quiet. But tonight, we have a few changes happening, including clouds building in and then the chance for some light snow. Notice temperatures to start off the day tomorrow are going to be right around 30. We have some light snow coming down, especially southeast of Chicago. Northwest Indiana, LaPorte County, Porter, even into Berrien County. Lake effect snow is going to continue through the day tomorrow. But notice the temperatures for the rest of us dropping. So we're going to hit our peak early tomorrow, and then during the day, temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 20s. Again, with that lake effect snow, especially as we round the lake. We have more rounds of snow. These temperatures up and down this week. I'll show you your full 7-day forecast ahead.
Thank you, Caitlin. The Better Business Bureau has its list of top 10 scams to watch out for in 2026. So we'll let you know what you should be on the lookout for.
Yeah, we're going to be talking with Steve Burness just ahead. And your help is needed to find a missing cat. Block Club Chicago will tell you why Scribbles, poor little Scribbles, ran away. We're going to talk to them about that story and a couple others they are following on Block Club Chicago. More weather coverage is up next, but first, before we go to break, here's a quick look at your 7-day forecast. We'll be right back.
What are you girls doing?
We're doing all the heating, plumbing, and electric around here.
All right, I know you girls know stuff, but let's leave it to our trusted local experts. Let's call Four Seasons.
It's about time you figured it out.
Whether it's heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, air duct cleaning, or generators, you can always trust Four Seasons.
For all the right reasons, call it 664 Seasons.
Every business.
Welcome back. It's 8:14 on your Tuesday morning. Here's a look at some of the top stories we're following for you.
It is day 2 of Marty Yang's hearing on new evidence. Defense experts say Yang could not have killed Ronnie Reuter in 2007. They say new DNA evidence proves her innocence. Yang and Reuter were involved with former Bears player Sean Gale. Reuter was pregnant with his child when she was killed. Yang was given a life sentence in 2011.
Meantime, Adam Beckerink will be in a courtroom this morning here in Cook County. His wife, Caitlin Tracy, was found dead at the bottom of a South Loop high-rise stairwell back in 2024. Prosecutors say Beckerink threw her down the steps. He has been serving a sentence in Michigan on unrelated domestic abuse charges. He was extradited to Chicago yesterday.
And we know who the Chicago Dogs will be in this year's Puppy Bowl. One Tail at a Time Rescue will have Susie and Vernon in the 22nd annual Puppy Bowl. It happens on Super Bowl Sunday. Susie and Vernon are part of a litter rescued from Arkansas. There will be a watch party for the Puppy Bowl at Babe's Sports Bar on February 8th.
Yeah, that's almost as important as the actual game.
Yes.
The Puppy Bowl. Don't want to miss that. 8:16. Let's send it over to Caitlin for an updated look.
We should name those puppies like Better and Best or
There
something.
we go. Good.
You know?
And yeah, we need good
We need
in there
good,
too.
better, and best. That would be so fun.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if the Bears were playing that day too?
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this forecast. We have some interesting weather ahead of us. We have the temperatures going up and down. We have dry skies today, but snow on the way tonight and tomorrow, and more rounds of snow in your 7-day forecast. So, talking about your weather headlines, first of all, starting with today, all good news. We've got partly sunny skies. Temperatures are going to be pushing to about 50 degrees this afternoon. Rounds of snow, as mentioned, especially as we round the lake, northwest Indiana. We're talking about lake effect snow from Porter County points east as we head into tomorrow. And then cold weekend. So for the Bears game, speaking of, it's going to be very chilly, which I'll show you on that 7-day forecast ahead. First, though, talking about satellite and radar this morning, we do have a few clouds out there that we're fighting with. But as we head on into the later part of the day, you can see that clearing happening north of us. We're going to have more sunshine with those mild temperatures. Right now we're sitting in the 30s. We're at 38 degrees at the lakefront, 39 in Gary, and 40 at O'Hare, 37 in Aurora. Our futurecast does show those partly cloudy skies this afternoon, and then we get it on that cloud cover and the chance for some light snow tonight into early tomorrow. As we head into even tomorrow afternoon, that's when that lake effect snow machine starts to kick on, especially as mentioned from Porter County points east. For us in Chicago, we're just going to feel the cold as temperatures drop down into the 20s in the afternoon. 7-day forecast, so that 30 degrees tomorrow, that's going to be early. And then, as mentioned, most of the day tomorrow is going to be in the low to mid 20s. 25 expected Thursday, Friday, right around 35, with more snow returning as we wrap up the week. And then this weekend, highs right around 20, both on Saturday and Sunday. Anthony.
Okay, thank you very much, Caitlin. Appreciate it. Well, the Better Business Bureau of Chicago and Northern Illinois has released its annual list of the top scams from 2025. In a stunning development, the overall volume of the local top scams spiked off the charts this past year. They almost doubled from 2024. And we're going to run through why this is happening, AI's role in this. But before we get to that with Steve Burness, we want to talk about the Bears real quick, because I understand that there are fake scams leading up to these this playoff game on Sunday that we have to be aware of. So, Steve, why don't you run us through what we need to know on that front?
Of course, the scammers are coming out of the woodwork, and especially in times like this, they capitalize on people's excitement. So the Bears are going to win Sunday, but if you're buying tickets for the game, please make sure you buy from a licensed ticket broker or directly from the Chicago Bears. Anything else with somebody buying on Facebook Marketplace or those other marketplaces, Craigslist, you're taking a chance. You don't know those people, and we're seeing so many problems occur. And use your credit card. If people think the Cash App, you have the same protection as you do on your credit card, and you don't. Once you give somebody money on a Cash App, you can kiss it goodbye.
Okay, that's a good heads up for sure. So keep that in mind if you're wanting to go on Sunday night. Okay, let's head into this top 10 local scams of the year list that you guys have put out. I know we can't go through the whole entire list, but what scam is in the #1 spot, and what else do you want to highlight this morning, Steve?
Online purchases is #1 spot for the 6th year in a row. Ever since the pandemic, Anthony, people have shifted to buying online, and that's where the scammers are going, actually. So we're seeing a lot of fake websites. You'll see those ads pop up on the right side. It's something you may have looked at, and you click on it. You don't know where it's going or who's behind it. So be very careful on those types of situations. But if you see a scam, report it to the Better Business Bureau so we can not only go after these individuals, but it's also information shared with the authorities as well, and hopefully putting them out of business as well.
Okay, number 2 there, phishing. We're missing an H right there on our list. But what do the phishing scams look like in 2025?
Anybody sending you an email asking you to do something quickly within 30 minutes, that's the tip-off to the rip-off. The government doesn't send you an email and ask you for information. The utilities are not going to shut your power off in 30 minutes or less. So by clicking on those links, Anthony, you can put spam or malware on your computer, and it's affecting businesses as well. We recently had a business that had to pay $1 million to get their files back because somebody, a receptionist, clicked on a simple link. So don't click on those links.
Yikes. Okay, third on that list, it said employment. There's employment scams underway in 2025 as well that spiked?
Yeah, we're seeing a huge spike in that. You might getting text on your phone saying you got these employment offers as well. They're getting more elaborate, Anthony. What I mean by that is they're actually taking you through an interview process. So you may interview 2 or 3 people, and you think this is a legitimate organization. Then, of course, they ask you for your Social Security number, your bank account number, and your mother's maiden name. Guess what? You're stealing your identity. So don't believe those offers coming on your emails or links saying they've got this great offer. Click here.
Okay. Now that we kind of talked a little bit about what happened in 2025, let's move to this year. And I also want you to comment on how scammers are leveraging AI.
AI is really learning in itself, and it's really becoming a growing type of scam. So there's celebrity endorsements the AIs are using. They need 5 seconds of your voice for AI to mimic your voice. So we're seeing AI in so many different types of scams, including websites. It takes about 90 seconds for AI to build a website to make it look authentic, like a Fortune 500 company. So be very careful on any type of offer. Check out the company, not only with the Better Business Bureau, but other sources. And don't fall for those links or those texts or those messages that come to you with these great offers. If the offer seems too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah, a lot of times we just have to fall back on our common sense here. Anything else that you want to let people know about in terms of red flags about scams here in 2026?
Well, usually they're always quick on the emotion. They bank on the emotional part. So they may call you up saying, or send you a text saying, "Thank you for buying the TV." Well, I didn't buy a TV. So you panic and you click and you say, "Well, we need your credit card number to refund you the money." So any type of emotional reaction, whether it be positive or negative, and the 30-minute rules applies. If someone wants you to do something in 30 minutes, that's the tip-off to the rip-off.
Okay, one more question before we leave, and that is, you mentioned some of the highlights from your top 10 list of 2025. If folks want to check out that whole list, how do they do that?
Everything's on our website at bbb.org. You can file a complaint, look for a company, find a trusted business as well. And if you do see a scam, report it to the BBB at bbb.org /scam tracker.
Okay, will do. Steve, good to see you. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right. 8:23 today on Chicago Now, kicking off at 10 a.m. We are going to be speaking with a cardiologist. We've been talking about these bears as the cardiac bears this year, about what all this dramatic football means for our health. And we are also going to find out the signs that your kids might be struggling to kind of readjust to academic life after a long winter break. We will be right back. Stay with us.
The bags.
Welcome back. Tuesday means our friends from Block Club Chicago are visiting us here in studio for a little dive into Chicago's neighborhood stories and some other hyper local headlines. We're joined by Gwen from Block Club Chicago. Gwen, thanks for being here. Happy New Year.
You
All
too.
right. Let's start off by talking about this viral object that is selling like hotcakes apparently in the wake of some of these recent Bears games. Run us through what's happening.
Yeah, it's called the Greater Head hat. It is available on foampartyhats.com. This small company, and what's kind of fun about it is this company started out making the cheese hats, like the Wisconsin, the usual Packers cheese hats. The Packers sent them a cease and desist order, so they can no longer make the cheese hats. They're like, well, we'll make cheese grater hats. And they have just gone completely viral. It started after, when the Bears had that win right before Christmas.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams wore a cheese grater hat the next morning at like a food pantry event. And everyone's like, oh, how do I get a cheese grater hat? And now, since Saturday's big win, they have completely sold out. There is a wait list of 10,000 people waiting for a cheese grater hat. And you go on the website and they're like, we're sorry, we're way overbooked. They've had to hire more staff to make the hats. They're running out of gray foam. So if you order one now, you probably won't get a cheese grater hat till like February or March, probably post Super Bowl.
Post Super Bowl.
But,
in time for next season.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So it's good to plan, so then you'll be ready for next season.
There might be a lesson about karma here. So the Packers actually said, stop making the cheese hats. Like we're going to switch gears here.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Little marketing revenge.
All right. Exactly. Another story you guys are following, Gwen, I understand has to do with this rare, almost unheard of rabies case. We reported this, I think, either last week or the week before. First rabies case in a dog in Cook County since like the 1960s. So you guys have kind of done a deep dive here.
Yes, and I'm a pet owner, and my whole family would agree that our dog is the most important, thing in our house.
Of course.
So when I helped edit the story, and I kept doing these like deep dive wormholes, so I feel like kind of a minor rabies expert at this point. Total armchair rabies expert. But yes, the upshot is that this is a completely rare occurrence. This story has gotten a lot of traffic on our site because, of course, all pet owners are concerned.
Completely.
But what it was like
It's always fatal, right? I mean.
Right. Well, what happens is,
Okay, yeah, you've done the deep dive. You're our expert. Sorry.
So so when a dog exhibits symptoms of being rabid, which is usually like a major aggression, the growling, the snapping, and a major mood shift for the dog. Unfortunately, the only way to test for sure that the dog has rabies is to do a post-mortem examination of the brain. So this dog was rescued by Paws with a litter in Florida in May, and then brought to Paws and got all the shots and everything, and then got adopted out. But then like months later, they're like, this dog, has had aggressive behavior. So the dog was euthanized, and then they did the examination, and yes, the dog was rabid. Now we talked to a disease expert in Madison who explained that there must just been this weird perfect storm, that the puppy was exposed to rabies before the dog got the shots, right? So and they're still trying to track this. Like if it happened when the dog was in Florida, it was probably a raccoon. If it was in Illinois, most rabies cases are from bats. So they're still trying to trace like exactly what happened, but the good news is it's completely rare. It's like a perfect storm for all these things to happen. But if your dog is vaccinated, it's an important reminder to get your dog vaccinated and check with your vet every year to make sure your vaccinations are up to date. But because, Chicago, like most municipalities, has this ordinance that everybody has to have their dog vaccinated, that's why this is the first case since 1964.
And those dogs, the existing one, everyone should still be safe. This was literally almost like a freak occurrence in the animal world.
And any dog that was like possibly connected or exposed has already been. If you haven't heard from Paws, you're fine. Like there was like a handful of instances, but everybody is in like post-treatment care, and so far so good.
All right, we're getting the wrap, but real quick, in seconds, can you give a little tease for your story about Scribbles the cat?
Another pet story.
Yeah.
Scribbles the cat has gone missing in Uptown. Beautiful Maine Coon cat. There was a fire last month, and this is kind of my favorite kind of block club story because it's very like community neighborhood oriented.
Yeah.
There's like a cat squad that is determined to find this cat that ran out after the fire. So they put up feeding stations and cameras and flyers all over the place. The story is on blockclubchicago.org if you have a Scribble sightings.
Yeah, let's put up Scribble's picture one more time real quick in case folks are joining us from Uptown. There's Scribbles right there.
So
I understand there's been one little brief sighting since the fire, right?
Right. There's been some sightings in Uptown. So what's weird is that they put up these cameras and stuff. They found other cats. They've connected other cats with their owners.
Good.
But Scribble's still on the loose, but we're hoping for the best.
Okay. All those stories and more, blockclubchicago.com. Gwen Einett, thank you very much. Really. .org. I'm sorry.
No worries.
blockclubchicago.org.
I do it all the time.
All right, 8:31. There's a new Barbie. It's going to mean something important to a lot of kids here. How a Barbie with autism is making some kids feel more accepted. Caitlin?
All right, today we're starting off with clouds. Temperatures, though, back to about 50 this afternoon, and sunshine is returning until tonight when we have the chance for some light snow around, some lake effect snow tomorrow. I'll show you the timing and how much snow we expect. Also, we'll take a look at that Bears forecast for this weekend coming up. First, though, headed out to the Shedd Aquarium with Gabby this morning to see what she's getting into.
Caitlin, I have a new friend, I'll tell you that. A local celebrity here, you may say. Okay, yes, it's warm today, but it's going to be getting cold again. We're talking about what you could do during the later winter months here at Shedd Aquarium. This is Poblano. Katie, you have a couple of tricks. We're going to be talking to you guys here soon. That's her wave, guys. Yes, she can wave. Yes, she can show off her wings. She could do it all. She's super Poblano. And yeah, she has a very strong jaw as well. She's getting lots of snacks from us. Hey, guys, we'll show you the details coming up.
My mind, it has
Welcome back. Several violent attacks on the CTA recently have violence interrupters stepping up to help keep passengers safe.
Roseanne has the latest on their efforts. Roseanne?
Yes, good morning. Well, these group members say their eyes, ears, and special training offer an extra layer of protection for CTA passengers who may be a little nervous about recent events. So last night, these violence interrupters all gathered at about 9 p.m. at a Blue Line station at State and Lake, and they boarded, taking that train to Chicago's Austin neighborhood. And this all comes after a deadly stabbing on the Blue Line at Clark and Lake early Saturday. A 37-year-old man died from his injuries in that incident. In October, there was another horrible incident. You'll remember the woman who was burned badly on the Blue Line train. Well, early Sunday on the Red Line, another incident. A man stabbed after arguing on a train near 69th Street. Some passengers say while they feel safe, they welcome any intervention that may make others feel safer.
I mean, yeah, I feel pretty safe on the trains. I've never had any bad experiences myself. My girlfriend has had an experience or two by herself. So, I mean, if there's a group of people that are just trying to look out for everybody else, then I guess I don't see a problem with that.
Now, about some steps the CTA has taken. You'll remember not long ago, they increased the number of Chicago police on trains from about 77 to 120 daily. And they also added additional K-9 guards. That number went from 172 to 188. But the federal government immediately said that wasn't enough and ordered the CTA to take more steps to try to improve safety by March or risk losing federal funding. In the Loop, Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Thank you so much, Roseanne. At 8:36 now, we want to send it back over to Caitlin for another check of the forecast. And today seems like it's going to be a pretty good day.
A really good day to be outside. Soak it in. We have sunshine coming and warm temperatures. So this morning it is quite overcast. Temperatures are not bad. We're hovering at about 40 degrees from 39 at the lakefront and in Gary to 40 at O'Hare and 37 from DeKalb to Woodstock to Kankakee. Again, it's cloudy. It's a little bit windy too. So gusty winds right now to about 30 miles per hour at O'Hare, 18 at the lakefront, 26 at Midway, 16 in Valpo. So you're going to feel the gusty winds coming in out of the southwest. But again, a nice day to get outdoors because we have quite a few changes coming our way, including the chance for snow starting tonight. Over the next 12 hours, temperatures peaking at about 50, and then by this evening, we're dropping back down to the mid and upper 40s. But let's talk about that chance for snow because it is going to be light and few and far between for most of us in Chicagoland. As we take a look, 5:30, starting to see some clouds move in, and then overnight tonight, that scattered precipitation. Most of this is going to be out of here by early tomorrow, with the exception of northwest Indiana and southwest Michigan, where lake effect snow is going to continue from Porter County to LaPorte and Berrien County all the way through. You can see this is heading into Thursday. That snow still coming down. Thursday, 9:30, still seeing some snow there. Again, we're rounding the lake, talking about that Michiana area. And with that, how much snow are they going to have? Well, looking at our Futurecast map here, 11:30 on Wednesday, we're seeing under an inch of snowfall. So again, through early tomorrow, we're going to have just a little bit of light snow here or there. But as we round the lake, that's where you could see 2 to 4 inches in Valpo and 1 to 2 in Michigan City by Thursday morning at 9:30. I'll show you that full 7-day forecast and that Bears outlook ahead. Stay with us.
Join us for the
Time now is 8:40. Barbie has launched its first autistic doll as part of its Fashionista line. They worked with a nonprofit disability rights organization to design the doll, which they hope promotes inclusion and acceptance. Carrie Provenzali is here. She's the executive director of the Naperville-based Turning Point Autism Foundation. Carrie, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Talk a little bit about how groundbreaking this doll is and what you hope it accomplishes.
We just love her. We are so grateful to Mattel and the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network for collaborating on her. I think of all the people who had to sit in rooms and talk about her clothing and the device she's using to communicate and her fidget spinner. And these are really important conversations to have at that level for organizations and corporations to be collaborating to make sure individuals with autism can see themselves represented. And there's nothing better than a toy for us because children learn best through play. And this gives their siblings and peers and individuals with autism themselves a chance to see themselves represented.
That's wonderful. And I understand it took 18 months to develop that doll, so a lot of thought went into her. Share what Turning Point does in the community.
Yeah, so Turning Point is started by families 20 years ago almost that really we had less understanding about autism at the time, and they built a coalition of experts and educators and volunteers, and we really strive to walk with families as they navigate the lifelong impact of autism.
And you've got a really exciting fundraiser coming up with the Chicago Auto Show. How can people get tickets and what can they expect?
Oh, yes, this is a great event. Turning Point is hosting a red carpet reception. It'll be at 6 p.m. on February 6th, and then the show floor opens privately to individuals attending First Look for charity. It's hosted by the Chicago Auto Trade Association, and you can go to our website, turningpointautismfoundation.org, to get tickets and find out more information.
I have been to one of those events, and it is so super fun. All of the food and the drink and, you know, seeing the cars for the first time before the public. So I highly recommend that people check that out if they can on that date. Okay, so for parents, Carrie, experiencing an autism diagnosis, it can be super scary. What would you tell them about the services available to assist and support them?
Yes, Turning Point has a lot of resources you can find right on our website, but we also just have the most incredible, brilliant team behind the scenes every day supporting families. So I recommend you reach out directly to our family specialist team, and they will help you connect to resources, help you understand certain meetings or appointments you have coming up. Again, our goal is to walk with families every step of the way.
And having an exceptional child can be such a gift. Thank you so much, Carrie, for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Gabriela Primus is fishing for some answers, you could say, about what to do at the Shedd Aquarium if you're looking for something to do with the kids. And she's going to be swimming with answers for us in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Stream Good Day.
Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. We're so glad you're with us on this Tuesday. We hope your week is off to a fantastic start. And we're diving into the Shedd Aquarium this morning. They are sailing into some free days, and you will certainly want to maybe swim on over there, Anthony.
Exactly, like that. Gabriella Primus joins us live with more on all the great things happening at the Shedd. Good morning, Gabby.
Just don't swim in this cage over here, okay? This is the anaconda. Her name's Beatrix. She's camera shy, you guys. She just had her not small, I shouldn't say, but her big head hanging out and looking at us. She was very curious. But we also have another local celebrity here at the Shedd Aquarium. What a fun spot to hang out on, well, warm winter days, cool winter days, whichever. This is Katie. Katie, you have Poblano here. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Absolutely. So Poblano is a green-winged macaw, and she is one of the animals that live here at Shedd Aquarium that goes out to the public. We do encounters with her. She meets a lot of different guests and even sometimes goes to schools.
Okay. Katie, you're the pro. You're with Animal Care. We'll learn a little bit about her in a second. But if you want to meet someone like Poblano or any of the other sea aquatic life, at least there's some free days that people can come in January still, but also in February as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Shedd offers free admission for Illinois residents. We do recommend making advance registration, though, because they do sell out very quickly. But the first set of dates is today, actually, through the 20th, and then January 27th through 29th. And then we have February 3rd through 5th, and some other dates in February you can see on our website.
You know, when you told me that, I was pretty impressed because that's kind of a lot of dates, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And later throughout the year, we'll have Tuesday evenings are free for Illinois residents as well. But especially in the beginning of the year when it's those colder months, we really want people to come out and still be able to connect with nature.
Is it cool being able to work here and getting introduced to all these animals?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been here 2 years, but I still learn something new every day. And I think every time you come down in the aquarium, every time I walk around, I see a new animal I've never seen before.
We're going to talk a little bit more about this in the 9 o'clock hour, but you mentioned that you wouldn't think aquarium and house music or like a party, but you guys have like special events that welcome people in to listen to their favorite music.
Absolutely. So we have house parties throughout the year. We've got a Heartbeat house party for Valentine's Day coming up, but other ones in the spring and summer. So if you can't choose between an evening of music or a visit to the aquarium, why not have both? At these events, you can listen to Chicago DJ legends, enjoy cocktails and bites, while also exploring all that the aquarium has to offer. And it's an adults-only event as well.
That is really fun, actually, because you don't hear a lot of events like that. All right, yeah, Beatrix is out. She's like, I'm done with this camera, and also probably Poblano with all the camera attention. She's probably getting jealous. You with Animal Care, Katie, I know that a lot of kids are able to come. They're able to meet Poblano. You know, how special is it getting an up-close look at some of these animals?
Oh my gosh, it is so special for everyone that encounters them. They get to look nature in the eye. They get to be face-to-face with an animal that they often don't get to see out in our Chicago environment, you know? So an animal from the Amazon like this is really rare to see, so it's really cool for them to get up and close and personal.
So I love that. Poblano has a sister, you guys. Her name is Serrano, and they share an enclosure here, so you could see both of them. But Poblano has that little white spot, see it? On top, that's how you're going to be able to notice her rather than her sister. But you could say hi to both of them. She's eating some nuts, but she has some party tricks. Can you show us some?
She's got a few fun things. So we can wave. These are all things that she would naturally do in the wild, too. So she flaps her wings. We do a lot of exercise training with her and a lot of other behavior training with her to keep her brain going every single day.
You guys, it was so cool. We didn't really want to do it on camera, but you can maybe come here yourself and see it. But she was doing some flying exercises.
Yeah, we do flights with them every single day. It's so important that they get that exercise just like we get exercise. So we do flights with them every single day.
Okay, other than, of course, the, water animals, aquatic animals, there's some, I would say water-adjacent animals like Poblano, who is from the Amazon?
Yes, so she is living they would typically live in the Amazon River Basin, which is one of the most biodiverse areas on the planet. Thank you. And she says, yes, it is. So it's one of the most biodiverse areas on the planet, which holds a lot of the world's fresh water as well.
Oh, so cool. Poblano, it was a pleasure. Can you say hello?
Hi. Okay, woo. Good.
She did it. See, we're getting comfortable, guys. We're really close. We're old friends at this point. All right, well, more information about the Shedd Aquarium. You know exactly where it's at, downtown Chicago. On our website, fox32chicago.com. Yes, a perfect spot, especially during those free days. A last goodbye to everyone, Poblano. There.
Oh, she's so precious.
It's a smart bird.
You are the coolest friend I have.
And I never knew that the Shedd Aquarium had a macaw on staff there. That's
Very
amazing.
Cool.
Okay, so listen to this. I was unfamiliar with this. A story in Indiana grabbed the country's attention in the 1970s. It has become a movie that's heading into theaters this week, and Jake's going to have a preview for us coming up.
This is a dead man's wire. If anybody yanks on me or yanks on that gun, he'll die.
Listen, Tony, you've made your point.
I want a formal apology from Meridian Mortgage. I want financial compensation for all the money I would have had, and I want to walk out of here a free man.
Sure thing, Tony.
This was in 1977, in real life. An Indiana man made national headlines by attaching the president of a mortgage company to a wire that was affixed to the trigger of a shotgun. It was known at the time as dead man's wire.
And the story swept the nation. It's super intense.
Yeah.
And it's now the subject of a new movie that's opening in theaters this week. This is called Dead Man's Wire, and it stars actor Bill Skarsgård, who you know for playing Pennywise the Clown in It. This time, though, he's playing a real man, and spoke with Jake Hamilton about the value of the now famous real footage of this incident.
This is a dead man's wire. If anybody yanks on me or yanks on that gun, he'll die.
I'm going to be honest with you. The moment that this movie was over, I did what I think a lot of people are going to do, which is get on YouTube and find the real footage of Tony. I'd love to know, what is the most important thing you figured out about Tony simply by watching that news footage and the press conference, something that maybe you wouldn't have figured out if you didn't have that real footage of him?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, yeah, there's so much source material and archival footage of the real thing, which is a real treasure trove of things to draw on from in terms of creating a character. So doing a scene where you could like look at the real thing and how it unfolded and what he was up to and what he was doing. And it's quite bizarre. I mean, I watched the whole press conference, countless of times, and it's a very bizarre thing. The whole spectacle is so bizarre, and it's kind of hard to imagine, but you have to seeing it live and going, when is he going to pull the trigger, kind of a thing. Because there's moments in the press conferences where it looks like it's almost like he's saying his sort of goodbye speech. It's like, okay, and then like, all right, this is the moment where he's going to pull the trigger. So it has all the recipes for being a sensational moment in network television, that's for sure. Tony Kuritz's lawyer commented on YouTube on the trailer, I think, and he had seen the film, and he said like, this is, I don't know, this sounds like tooting my own horn, but he was like, Bill captures this. I knew Tony, I represented him, and this is, whatever. This is like, it feels like I'm watching Tony, and I was like, can we verify this? And we did. Like, it's actually his lawyer that represented him, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's like sort of the best review you can ask for, I think.
Oh, it looks like an intense one. Dead Man's Wire opens on Friday. No, not on your list?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I cannot, no. It's too, with the news that we deliver each day, I don't need to up the ante there. All right. We'll be right back with more Good Day Chicago after this break.
At Postman Law, we built a team of lawyers